Good morning, beautiful you. Hope you're doing well today. It's the weekend and happy weekend to you. And as always, you need to make out time to rest, reset, and breathe because it's important. That's what the weekends are for. So repeat after me: rest, reset, and breathe. It's important you do that. Welcome to the morning show. I am Wendy and I have Emmanuel Onwuka here with me. Emmanuel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and if Lagos, thank you so much for joining us today, Saturday. Once again, it's another Saturday,
Yes,
another day for you to rest, like Wendy said.
reset and breathe is important.
Yes, while you are resetting, we'll try as much as possible to be resetting here in the studio and make
Yes.
you laugh as much as possible.
Yes, yes.
But of course, we start off with Relationship 360
Mm-hmm.
every Saturday here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Well, we look into all of the issues relating to marriages, relationships, and of course, we have Barrister Lumide right here with us in the studio. You just missed him. If you still want to get a piece of the action, you need to rush to our YouTube channel,
Yes.
Nigeria Info FM, to see Barrister Lumide and all of the things he's doing behind the scene right here.
All the ginger, the energy he's
All of the
giving
energy
us.
is giving us,
Yes.
right here in the studio. Afterwards, by 9 a.m., we have the Discuss with Jimmy Disu, and he'll bring you all of this conversation, be it political, be it cultural, every of the stuff. You can't stop having that conversation when it's Jimmy Disu on the mic.
And we take you on a journey. Yes. You can be in Lagos, Nigeria, and be in Morocco at the same time, and be in Trinidad at the same time, or be in Spain on travel and culture with Emmanuel by Emmanuel himself. Yeah. And you can actually join us on Facebook. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, like he rightly said. And after that, we have the portal. And even if it's just for 30 minutes, we give you awesome music. Today it might be my playlist, one this playlist. Today it might be a manual playlist, but you have to tune in.
Exactly.
You
You
have
just
to
have to
tune in.
watch us for
You,
it.
you are in for a ride. You're in the right place at the right time right now, honestly. On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one news, talk, and sports station.
Of Of course, right now it's time for Relationship 360. So
Mm-hmm.
grab that chair, listen closely to your radio because, of course, the next voice you're hearing will be that of Barrister Olumide.
Barrister, how are you doing today?
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning, Randy. Good morning, Emmanuel. Awesome to see you guys. Such positive energy here
Mm-hmm.
today. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again for Relationship 360. So, like I promised last week, we will continue with questions and answers today because there were so many people that actually wanted to say something, and we will just let today be about you. But before I go on, I want to steal 10 minutes of our time. Now, the International Day of the Boy Child was the 16th of May. That was about a week ago. And the day started, that is, that celebration, which was the International Day of the Boy Child, started since 2018 and it was founded by Dr. Jerome Tolukson, a lecturer at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, it focuses on the boys, and I can't stress enough about the challenges the boy child faces, which are mainly related to neglect by the fathers. The biggest problem I see for the boy child is where the father is often absent from the home. The father is an alcoholic or a reprobate. The boys lack role models and parental guidance. The problem has always been the absence of the father. In the UNICEF report, as far back as 2015, the challenges of the boy child in Nigeria has always been negative parental attitude, lack of guidance and counseling, poverty, weak family institutions. and drug abuse. When you see this, it is always, in summary, all what I have just said is neglect, because fathers are always absent. Do you know that in the abuse of the girl child as well, girl sexual abuse, boy sexual abuse, the main factor that differentiates a boy or a girl child that will be a victim and that child that would escape being sexually abused as children is the presence of a father. Do you understand what that means?
Mm.
That means the presence of a father is security
Yes.
for the child. Now, there's a difference between husband and father. People marry husbands, but really, they don't have fathers in the house. Why? Because other things. A father trains a child. A husband donates sperm. So there's a difference between a sperm donor and a father who is responsible. You want the children to succeed, but who is there to teach them about success? You want them to be decent. Who is there to teach them about decency and etiquette? You want them to be strong, but who is there to teach them that the strength is not to be fighting people on the streets, beating up women, but the strength is actually a defense for your home. You are strong enough to protect your loved ones. You are strong enough to protect the country, because it starts from the home. There is no country without the singular unit of a family. There is no state. There is no tribe. But you just leave the boys, and then the issue here again is selective training. You train the girl child, and then you leave the boy child. The girl child must be home by 6 p.m. The boy child can come home tomorrow. Nobody, and you say, but this one went out. Nobody is. That's how you leave them. Why would you also not give your boy child restrictions? The girl child, no, you must go and learn how to cook. The boy child is watching TV. He must be in the kitchen as well. You say, okay, let him sweep the parlor. The girl go to the kitchen. Next week, let the boy go to the kitchen and let the girl sweep. All of them must be well-rounded. It is not my own house. Weekends, the boys, as I am today, when I finish here, I have RMDVA training 12 to 3. You will still meet me in the market today, because weekends is the men's day. Men will cook in my house. All the boys will go to the market, buy tomato, blend it, buy meat, cook it. The women will sit down and the boys will serve. Our first child is 28 years old. He will serve. It is when he goes to his own house that he can sit down and be watching TV. Weekends, he must serve. He will cook and he will serve. All the boys will be in the kitchen. Can you have useless boys? Boys that are at home and cannot function but watch TV and play games. And these are the boys that will be husbands. Then you will tell the girl child when she misbehaves, is this how you are going to do in your husband's house? You tell the boy child, is this how you are going to do in the wife's when you marry a wife? You don't train them. Where is the fathers? And this neglect. Both, do you know that child sexual abuse is now more than domestic violence and abuse and gender-based violence combined in Nigeria? That is the fact that 1 in every 3 girls will be sexually abused before the age of 18, and 1 in every 4 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 12. So who is more at risk? We are talking about the girl child. The boy child is much more at risk. Do you know that in school, by almost every metric, the boys of all ages are doing worse than girls, because they are diagnosed with learning disabilities at higher rates. Their grades and test scores are lower, and they are more likely, it was about 30-something% less likely to graduate. Why? Because before they will now start, you see, it is in the secondary schools that the boys discover their masculinity. Their voices start going deeper. They start growing hair all over. They start noticing themselves. They start noticing girls. And then this distraction begins. A boy that has been passing, carrying all the, I told my son, when you were in primary school, you were carrying all the awards. You got to secondary school. You are not even being mentioned. You are not even being mentioned. This boy took every award, but he got to secondary school. He's not being mentioned. Any award, he's now very, walks, trying. I say, Oga, now I'm noticing. But a lot of people don't notice that you say, oh, maybe competition has increased. No, his brain that he used to carry the award is still the same brain that he has today. He must not be a statistic. So you must make sure that he's not distracted by peer pressure. That is number one factor. Try to be socially acceptable, live up to the image of the school. The boys in the school, this is how boys dress. You see them, they talking, then they pull it out that it covers the belt. I say you talking properly. You comb your hair. When you're coming from school, they talk out and stuff. If I catch you talking out, you talk out when you get to the street. When you get to the front of the house and you enter the house, that's when you talk out your shirt. You fly your collar because why? It is cool. You start noticing these things and you don't immediately correct the child. You see some boys dropping out of school, being at the junction, being area boys. Their parents come to collect money from what they make, stopping Okadas, and I can't even imagine. My father would literally bury me there, kill. Past participants, that's somebody, you're already dead and they're burying, you're doing your burial procession. Doing what? I see my father's car. You check yourself immediately. You look at yourself, you are properly dressed with it, and you sit down there, you can confidently say, welcome, sir. You say, how are you? Because there has to be discipline. Listen, the strength of any country is the men and the boys in that country. In the olden times, when they want to raid, when countries they send spies, not to spy out whether the land is fertile. They send spies to check the number of men and boys in that country. That is the strength of the country. Not even now. Why is Nigeria the most dangerous country in Africa? Because we have the highest population of people. It's about population. And then you have boys that are, where are these fathers? I keep telling people, you start running after money. You start running after appointments, thinking you are defined by how much you make. No, that is not your definition, because eventually you will be sacked or you will retire. What lives on is your name, your legacy, your children. Your children live on after you. That is your legacy. That is your legacy. In the olden times, when I was younger, there was a notorious thief called Anini. Anini used to ply that Lagos-Ibadan Benin Expressway. Have you noticed? With his Monday Osumbo, Abi, what's the name? His gang. They terrorized, they pied policemen, they pied civilians. The fear of Anini was the beginning of wisdom. Have you noticed that there is nobody bearing Anini now?
True.
You can't find anybody bearing that name. He's success. Why? Because how you want to find work in my organization and you come, you say your name is Joseph Anini. I'll say what? Joseph Anini. I will not even ask, okay, thank you. In fact, I'll say, you know what, just send us in. There's no need for you to come for the, we will reply you by mail. You just hear that name. And the real Anini is there. Why is that name no longer popular? People changed their names because they don't want to be mentioned with that name, knowing that name, what it has done, and that is what you know about legacy. Your son is strung up on drugs. You did not notice when he started. Your daughter has been defiled. Your daughter is such, you don't even know. Do you know that There was a case of sexual abuse. The girl is 13. It was the neighbors that noticed that the girl was pregnant. The mother and the father that were in the house did not notice that the girl was pregnant. Why? You are gone every day, gone every morning, gone every. I'd rather train my children than be very rich. Because the riches now, what would they use it on? They will use my money to buy drugs. They will use my money to throw orgies. They would go and buy expensive cars and crash it. They will crash it and then we bury them. Why? Because my priority was money. That is what money brings. But when you raise your children, that's why I want those that are after money, those that are bent on religion. Sunday, what do you call it? Workers meeting, Bible study, first service, second service, third service. Then in the evening, home fellowship again. House fellowship. Monday, digging deep. Tuesday, communion service. Wednesday, midweek service. Thursday, prayer meeting. Friday, workers vigil. Saturday, choir practice. Workers, kinikon, all these sanctuary cleaners. Sunday, what time do you have for your child? This same God that you are serving. Jesus said, he that has seen me has seen the Father. Seated at the right hand of God is Jesus. Where is the God you are serving? With his own son. You are leaving your own son to go and serve a God that is with his own son. What are we talking about? And then we have a reprobate generation. I fear for the next generation. Look at the exposure. Without guardians, what do they see? They see money. You don't teach them how to work for money. They just go and start doing money rituals. Do you know that in the past 5 months, the people that have been caught, 92%, I was trying to do the metrics with one of the officers of the anti-raping and all this anti-cultism, said 92% of the boys that have been caught for rituals, have been caught for armed robbery, are under 24 years old. 24 years old, under 24 years old. Those are the children that are not yet grown men. Why? Because all you show them is money. You don't show them how to. You know, there was a song when we were younger. Bàtà mi àdúkò kan tí ń bá kàwé rẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè. That is, if you don't work, you will steal. You were taught that you have to work. Where are the fathers? Where are the fathers? You just keep giving birth and women just keep reproducing for irresponsible men. The way the first child is treated should determine if you will give that man a second child. He's not taking care of the child. He's not there as an example. A woman whose job is not to train the child, but to nurture the child, will now be doing the job of nurture and training. And you would always tell the difference between a man that was trained by his father and a man that was trained by his mother. There is a difference. There is a difference.
What's the difference?
Oh my God. Have you seen a father scold the son? Have you seen a father running after the child because of, have you seen a father wrestle a child? Have you been to a remand home before? There are things a mother cannot do because it is not her job, but you make her do it. From every religion, it is there that the father should train the child. Have you seen a woman leading boys into the forest on how to hunt? Have you seen women carrying their sons into the forest to teach them how to hunt a wild animal and bring meat home? It is the job of a man. But when you keep reproducing for an irresponsible man, you will have to, and then you will now call me Barrister Olumide. See, let this one even be a warning. Now, if you want to call me, and what you want to call me for is child support, I can't help you. That he's not paying, he's not taking care of his responsibilities, and you gave him 3 children. You will take care of the responsibility. The way he treats the first child. It should not, that first child would be your experiment.
But Barrister, that is that one is subject to
To-
situations, because people tend to change after a while. It might
Right.
be that the man did not show that characteristic in first
It
year,
is impossible.
second child,
It is
third
impossible.
child.
No, you cannot be having 3 children, and a man who was responsible for 3 children will just wake up one day and be irresponsible for 3 children. It is not possible. A man is either responsible or irresponsible. Whether he has money, whether he does not have money, he will be responsible. You will know. You cannot one day. It is not possible. Someone who is responsible, is not money that makes you responsible. Responsibility is character. It is character. It is not money. Story: the man went to sell his a phone in Computer Village, and then called the wife with another phone, saying that, please, if anybody sends you a text message that they've kidnapped me, or this come and pay any money, that don't answer, that somebody just stole his phone. But he was selling the phone, and then the person selling it to him that he sold to was now like, why did you call your wife to lie? She said that he needs the money to pay the children's school fees and also buy food at home. But if she knows that he sold his phone to do that, she will not be happy and she will not eat. So he had to lie to her that his phone was stolen, then pay school fees. That is a father now. He didn't want the wife to worry. So because a man would go through a lot.
Sense of responsibility.
The sense of responsibility. Let me tell you something. I've sold wristwatches. I went to sell car spare parts, as I am like that. I went to sell car spare parts because of responsibility. Because law at that time was not, when you graduate as a lawyer, they don't really pay you. You might be, when I started work as a lawyer, I was being paid 1,200. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Fathers, the curse of a nation or the prosperity of a nation is in the loins of the father, in the character of a father. When you see someone who is not a father, flee. Don't go and give birth to that. The boy child, the girl child, whether they will succeed, whether they will fail, whether they will be sexually abused or not, is the presence of a father. When we come back,
yes,
right?
We're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue this discussion. And it's still the question and answer session today. So bring your questions, bring your answers too. We are ready for you. Don't
Yes.
go nowhere. We're going on a quick break, and when we come right back, stay with Relationship 360. I know you're very good at it.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3
That was like when you were speaking, I wanted
99.3
to
Nigeria
come in
Info. Let's talk.
understanding, so that you give that chance, so that I can feel in that part as well.
Mama, if you see her just screw up that toilet,
Even if it look clean, but if you don't
welcome
use
to the world.
hypo
It's
toilet
as
cleaner,
they know.
germs
We
go
never
still
know
jump
50
out.
minutes.
B for germs.
And one day,
Protect your toilets every
find
day
traffic.
with Hypo
I
Toilet
find out
Cleaner.
Did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know?
When we get to
Your dose
September,
of facts
October,
with
November,
bets you never knew. Right here.
there's a lot of there's a lot of ads between that period.
Shishi.
People do a lot of
Have you
from
ever
August.
wondered
and
what
you know
this
the
means
issue is
or how it came to be? How
you
did
look
the
for
phrase
programs
"I
that
don't
are-
even have shishi"
that have
come to
very high
be?
traffic.
This is the
People pay
backstory.
extra.
Before 1973, Nigeria was using the British pounds. Among the available coins then was the silver coin with the face of Queen Elizabeth on one side and cocoa board symbol on the other side. This was the 6-pence coin. But our people in the south and the north, due to the difficulty in pronouncing it properly, adulterated this differently. The southerners called it Sisi Pensy, while the northerners called it Shishi Pensy. It was then shortened to Sisi or Shishi in different regions. This coin was one of the lowest denominations available at that time, so one will easily say, "I don't even have Sisi Pensy to give you." meaning I am broke. This metamorphosed
Let me
to I don't even have shishi. So, when next you are using this phrase, you will say it knowing you have the backstory.
Another piece of the puzzle now revealed.
Keep questioning, keep listening, only on Nigeria Info 99.3.
For 3 great seasons, the fans have fought with passion and fire, their best they brought.
Friends, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, aunts, and uncles. And let's turn up! It's the Kids FM Festival. Let's make memories that sparkle. Register now at www.kidsfm.ng. One more time, register at www.kidsfm.ng. Let the countdown begin. Sunday, June 1st at Balmoral Convention Center, 12 p.m. prompt. Kids FM Festival 2.0. Family fun. So come, let's play.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
And we're back. We're still on the discussion of the boy child. And Barrister, you had something to say
Yes.
before we went on that break.
Yes. In closing, don't be like Eli in the Bible, who was so busy being a prophet that he forgot how to train his sons. At the end of the day, his sons were slain and he himself died a horrible death. He was so busy being a prophet. Look
Forgot
at what
to
his
die.
sons were doing.
Yeah.
Forgot to train them. Don't let religion cover your eyes that you forget on how to raise your children. Now, I will close this by dedicating this song, the song that my father used to sing and play for me all the time. I want to play it for you. Let the children listen to the wordings of this song. Fathers, mothers, remember this time and train your children. Thank you.
Some other persons concentrate on their own mental health.
Thank you very much. This song was released in 1981 by the late Christy Esienibokwe. She uh, left us. She was just 50 when she left this world, but left an evergreen song to always remind us to train the children from the religious angle, also to you fathers who overwork yourselves. You go to your work, your job is so important that you are on the laptop, you're on the phone, you are in this conference, you are in that online meeting, and your children are just watching. Your absence will leave room for another person to be father to those children. Uh, it is well. We go to questions and answers. Please, those of you that may have a question that you want to ask, you have just 2 minutes to ask your questions. Just give us a call.
Okay.
Whatever.
Whatever. The mail line to call is 0201 277 0993. I'll call it again 0201 277 0993. And the female line to call is 0201 465 7190. I'll repeat it again 0201 465 7190. And the WhatsApp number to send us a message is 0809597 sorry 08095975805. I'll repeat it again 08095975805. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where you calling from? Oh, hello, good morning. What's your name and where you calling from? Good morning. Okay, go on.
That is married. Along the line, she complained of a neglect of her husband not taking care of her children. Yeah, along the line, she had to sell her marriage ring to take care of the children. That the day she sold that marriage ring was the day the marriage ended out of her mind. But they are still cohabiting. Now, what I want to ask now is that marriage still binding? And she has sold her ring and they are still living together. They said they don't do anything together anymore.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, the marriage is not bound by a ring, it's bound by your marriage certificate. So as long as their marriage certificate is still subsisting, they are legally married. Whether she sold the ring or not, they are still cohabiting. They are still seen as husband and wife. Whether she sold the ring does not matter. If she wants to leave, then she has to actually separate from the marriage. That's but as long as you are together, still there, no separation, no legal or traditional refund of bride price, they're still husband. Yes.
I think one thing I would also pitch into advice is I see a concern. Possibly one of the concerns that she might have is because of the financial capacity to go on her own. And I would say this is your time to actually try and see how you can get something doing for yourself so that you can be financially
No
capable.
woman
possibly.
should be without a means of income. None. How can you depend on a man? Suddenly the man has a stroke, he's unable to provide. What happens?
What about situations whereby the man tells you not to work, to be a stay-at-home wife?
That is even against the law.
Mm.
It is called economic abuse. You cannot tell a person that the government cannot derive tax from them, that they should stop being productive. It is financial abuse, taking over. There was a lady who got married. She had a bureau de change, and this gentleman came into her life who was just struggling, and eventually found his way to be made the director in her bureau de change, and eventually took over the business and told the woman, to stay at home, let him. Eventually, the woman thought, oh, okay, maybe love, I don't understand. Eventually, the man started using proceeds to start his own bureau de change and his own business. By the time he said he was no longer interested in the marriage, the woman's bureau de change was gone. The man had built 2 houses and started a thriving business. You cannot be without a means of income. So when that man, God forbid, dies, what happens? The children, that means the children will not eat. You start begging. And then the family will not come and say, where is our son's car? Where is our son's property? Where they drive you out. You have no way to defend yourself. You will start begging. And from begging, that is when you now meet someone who gave you 5,000, 10,000. After you call him, you now say, okay, I'll give you, come and meet me at room 203, Sunshine Relaxation Spot. You will have to do it eventually. When you are angry, how can you say, is it because I want to borrow? You now vex, you leave the place. The man keeps quiet. 2 or 3 days later, when your children have not eaten, you will be the one to call back and say, I'm sorry for the way I spoke to you that day. Can I still meet you at that place? Because you tell yourself, okay, you just close your eyes, 10, 15 minutes is over. And that's how it starts. Every woman must work. Man is not a means of livelihood or sustenance. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to those phone calls. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, David, go on.
Good morning, sir. Excuse me, am I teaching people to disobey God? Please, I was expecting something like that from you, but please go ahead and tell me how I'm teaching you to disobey God. Did God tell you? Please show me where in the Bible where God told you to go to church every day. Okay, go ahead. So you have just said that 6 days man should work, right? Take care of his family, and the 7th day, and then now listen, God said the 7th day is the Sabbath where God rested. That means man should not do work. Hold on, sir. Saying that man should not work. The Sabbath day is a day that man should not work. It is not written in the Bible. There was no church in the Old Testament, sir. Do you understand? There was nothing like church in the Old Testament. Church is a New Testament fabrication. So, hold on, sir. Let me answer you. It says, Sabbath day, you should not work. You should rest. So there is nowhere in the Bible that there is a day that God says go to church. Serve him. Is serving God going to church? Sorry. Serve him. To serve God, it must be in church, Abi. You can only serve God in church. Which Israel? Israel is in North Africa. Israel is in the Middle East. Which Israel? Are you telling me you are an Israelite? Sir, are you an Israelite? Please, I need to answer people that have real questions, sir. Please, I need real questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This guy is so
answered your question.
He's so hung on religion that he's not actually thinking. He's not an Israelite.
Okay, so the thing is this. I think you're trying to. Why I understand to an extent where you're coming from. I think you're changing the context, or you're not seeing it from the context with which the statement was said. When he spoke about church and people paying too much attention, remember the key word here is too much attention, and he made reference to Eli. Thank God you're a Christian or you understand the Bible to an extent. Eli was a priest. He had to pay attention to God, church, and all of his duties, priestly duties, but for God to be a father. So he's saying, what Barrister is saying is don't pay too much attention to the things of God and forget to be a father. Also remember to be a father at home and take care of kids and be a dad to your parents and be a good husband. So it doesn't matter whether you're spending 11 days in church. The thing is also create time for your family. It's essential that you create time for your family.
Nana, do you even know that God spoke against that indiscipline of Eli's children?
Mm-hmm.
God spoke against it, meaning that God expected him to train his children. It is all over scripture.
There is balance
Fathers,
in everything.
train your children.
They were supposed to take over from Eli.
There is even no day that is in the Bible that you should go to church. The man just shot himself in the foot. If we decide to go to church, I go to churches. I speak in churches. But when you're now saying to disobey God, where did God say you should go to church? The only thing in the Bible is that you do not forsake the gathering of brethren. And that is gathering, not church.
And if we even say, okay, fine, gathering is church, there's Sunday, there's Thursday, one day of the week.
You can gather in my house. You can gather under a tree. You can gather anywhere.
Let's move on.
Let this not take over. Let this not take
Hello,
over.
good morning. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good morning, sir.
Okay, go on.
Thank you very much, man. How are you, man? Oh, wow. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
Thank you,
so much.
Madam
Too,
Joyce.
man.
Well,
Please.
we have this question here.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, good morning. He wants to be kept anonymous. Please, what's your take on distance relationship and what distance can qualify a long distance relationship? He said, I've looked online for a possible past program on this topic, but I can't find any.
My Instagram page was deactivated. Some cyber attack was made on my page by some gentleman whose video was there for being a serial child molester. We did a documentary there. He's going to prison soon. So that's why you can't find my Instagram. You can't find it. But let me go straight to your question. I absolutely discourage 1 billion% long distance relationships before marriage. Why? Because it is a relationship based, I call it relationship powered by network. You don't see the person. Some probably, they say they come to town one weekend, spend 1 weekend, that is 2 days with the person, and then when you calculate 2 times 12 in 12 months, that is 24 days in 1 year to see a person. Some are even abroad. A younger brother of mine got married to a woman he met for the first time 5 days to the wedding. They had been online. When he got abroad, she was abroad, that's why they did everything, and he had to go and join the military to get away. You don't really know a person. You don't really know them. There are various studies that have been carried out, especially in the German one is what I like. They gave a life expectancy of 4 years to long distance relationships. There is always problems because you don't really know the person. You can be in the same local government and also be in a long distance relationship. Why? Because you don't see the person. You are busy, he's busy, you people see once a while. So I don't encourage it at all.
Anyways, I have another question too. This person wants to be anonymous. He says, a lady I was dating asked me if she slaps me, will I slap her back? I said I would reply her with 3 slaps. I later broke up with her because I don't want to be a wife.
You should come and meet us now. You know how many times I was slapped? They slapped me at Sabo bus stop.
A woman?
Yes, now, because I didn't transfer money quickly. And the person she wanted to give had gone. I'm 10 years older than this lady. Gave me a slap right there. So someone is telling you, if I slap you, this one did not ask before they gave me that slap. You know that slap that you first look around to see if anybody.
But do you think it's right for him to leave the relationship?
Someone that is already telling me if I slap you.
Yes.
Okay, moving. Emmanuel.
Yes, please.
What if I stab you on your right? What will you do? Will
Glory
you stab
to
me
God.
back?
No,
Glory to
no,
God.
Glory to
Then you
God.
marry me.
Then they will oppose me later.
Anyways, good.
All right.
We'll take a few calls very soon. Okay.
Let's take more messages,
messages,
and then
okay.
we take more calls later when we're back from the break.
This one is Sam from Ikorodu. He said, many of our parents are not committed to God, but to their denominations. Their sense of value was tied to their denominations. So they spent their life earning top members' badge and neglecting us, their children.
I have a question here. This man says, my question is, if a woman's contribution is to do only house chores and give birth without even helping you to manage your income, please, if divorce takes place, will that woman claim any entitlement?
I think you are watching American movies that, they split properties. And it's different in Nigeria. There can be some compensation but you see, when the house document is in the name of the man, and you really have nothing. What you can maybe upkeep or child welfare,
Support.
Yeah, but except the property is in Mr. and Mrs.
Okay. Well, Pelumi says, I want to ask, what should we do in the case of a man that don't want to take responsibility of 2 children and the woman? What should we do in that case?
I have told you people to stop asking me about he wants to take responsibility. What do you mean by wants to take responsibility? This is the problem. Why I tell you, in Nigeria, it's totally different. Abroad, failure of child support can send you to prison. In Nigeria, it's not like that. The man can actually get away with it. He will tell you, I don't have money. There's a man that is paying 20,000 naira per month for 4 children.
Wow.
5,000 per child. He said that's what he can afford.
Well, we're still taking more of your questions here on the Relationship 360 on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Lagos, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this break.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
We take more calls. Like today now, we take more calls because that one is more engaging. People hear live, people bash. Like that guy calls, he spread his super. If he was typing, he wouldn't be able to say all those many things. But because of that phone call, you see that after his call, a lot of people have been calling back to back. So it's more engaging for you to take calls of things like this. And that is why we have to spend days like this, like 1 month, 2 weeks. No, I'm just saying. So because we moved us to messages, and as at the time we moved us to messages, we couldn't take calls anymore because of timing. So we have to watch time. We have to understand the time. You take more calls. Then when you see it's like 5 minutes to the top of the hour, what you now do is start taking messages because those ones are shorter responses, and you just read sharp. You understand? So that's what
Hey,
you do. So you take
Chioma,
course. When you see it's 5 minutes
my
to
kitchen
enter messages.
Mama.
Are you writing it
Use
down?
hypo.
You don't write anything
No,
down.
no, at least she put it in her head.
No,
That's the
you
most
have
important.
to, first of all,
I actually do write it down. I go back to write it down.
Ever
And
since
then before I
Grandpa's
come
swag
here, I
retired,
go like,
he's
so
gotten
that
quite
small
active.
paper you gave
You
me,
might find
I
him
will
making
also
jollof
use
rice for the
it.
family,
write it. When I'm there, I
doing
just
50 push-ups a day,
read before you
or
now.
busting some moves on
It
TikTok,
relieves my stress of trying to
or going
be
shopping
sure
with his
what I'm
favorite
That's
grandson.
calming. Yeah.
He's
But
also
after some time, it just
experimenting new
becomes a
things
part
like
of you.
pairing Ankara
She's
trousers with
strange.
a
I
white
think she
shirt
realizes at
and a
home and I
cool
like
pair
that.
of sunglasses.
He also helps.
The
You know,
day
so that
she
you don't
started,
frown.
if you see
We
the
believe
way she
that
went,
the fun begins
well,
at
this
retirement.
is keeping of the
That's
eye
why
of the
Head
future.
Smart
No, that day na 10 people na project defense na I can't do for you that day. Just project defense. You carry the long. I see the long thing wey put on WhatsApp. They reach everything. I say, oh, and Johnny just come. No wahala. That's what it be. He just come. Nah. You see, because that's the thing about it. You're pressed for time. When I was telling you that time that you don't do it like this, so you were thinking like you don't want me to do myself. Auntie, calm down. You will still join the league. You are saying you don't want me to do myself. Now the league with this, it's short and sweet because everybody's pressed for time. There are some intros you do, Paris will be looking at you and say, you no go finish sharp because he said we will report. You see me on the portal when I'm taking my intros, back, and fast because guest is waiting. I have 15 minutes on the clock. I cannot be doing too much. So he's the nail on the head.
2025 at the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 12 noon. Limited tickets available. Get your tickets now at www.goldfestnigeria.com. Goldfest 2025 is powered by Femi and the Gang and Football Republic.
Sponsored by Squadron.com. Proudly refreshed by Pepsi.
Every day is about winning with one play on Nigeria Info. On Nigeria Info Daily Winnings is now over 150,000 naira. Just go to oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Play with as little as 500 naira, and in a few seconds your ticket is in the draw. The more you play, the better your chances of winning every day on the Morning Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, and Game On shows on weekdays and the Football Frenzy shows on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday there will be a 500,000 naira jackpot. Playing during the week automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot.
Someone
Your
said
chances
that
of
my
winning
voice
are the
was so
same,
high
whether you play
in
on
very
OnePlay.ng or dial *347 *880
Say your voice was so
Remember
high.
to play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. OnePlay is a registered trademark under National Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission.
It's because of this thing, and you know, I think there's a growing trend.
We're back. We're back.
We are
On 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is where Nigerians come first for the best of talk.
My wife beats me like she beat, I don't know, maybe an animal.
A category of females, adolescents, that should not be giving birth and in fact being forced to give birth, not even once, but multiple.
This is where Nigerians come first for the best of talk.
My wife beats me like she beat, I don't know, maybe an animal.
A category of females, adolescents, that should not be giving birth and in fact being forced to give birth, not even once, but multiple times.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
We're back here on 99.3 Nigeria Info, and of course, this is Relationship 360 with 1D. My name is Emmanuel Onka, and Barrister Lumide is right here with us in the studio. And we're still taking your calls, your messages, asking one question. Just ask one question, please, because there's so many calls. We have so many calls here with still many messages. Remember the numbers to call: 0201 277 0993, 0201 277 0993. Female only line 0201 465 7190. And of course, you can send us a message on WhatsApp 080 959 75805. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Naomi, where are you calling from? All right, Naomi, straight on to your question. What's your question?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Please, could you turn off your radio, reduce the volume?
All right, please speak up so that we can hear you clearly, please. Taiwo, do you want to remain anonymous or you want to tell us your name?
He has already told you his name.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Your discussion on the radio is really encouraging and giving ways to family how to handle their affairs in their marriage. And it's not something that most of us that is calling to confuse our the barrister, because that first caller is taking it to beyond another level where we are discussing this morning. But what I really understand is our barrister is telling us to be very and not to manage our marriage. And we should not be fitting of the other side that has come up.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comments. Please, Lagos, let's reserve this time for questions. Okay, please. Thank you for your comments. We appreciate you for your feedback. But please, let's reserve this time for questions. There are people who want to ask questions and there are people who've been hoping to ask questions here on the show. So please, let's reserve the comments and the remarks. Let's go straight on to the questions. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, madam. What's your question?
So many churches there, Ephesus is there, and these are the church. That's why I'm asking when they say there's no church. Please, people should read their Bible now. There are so many antichrists that can confuse people and take people to...
Please, I don't understand what you are talking about. What are you talking about?
Please, let's move on.
Sorry, let me just when you want to call into this program, you call to start talking about Church of Ephesus. There are over 16,000 churches in Lagos State alone. There are more churches than there are schools in Nigeria. So we don't need you to come and be telling us that there is church. That's one of the problems we have. When there are more churches than schools, we are not raising children, we are not educating children. Don't call and be telling me Church of Ephesus. Is this a church?
I think people should not take this the wrong way. Again, don't take this the wrong way. Listen carefully and understand, please. The statement was clear that strike a balance between your church going and taking care of your children, and they were speaking directly to men, fathers especially. So please, let's not. It's not for anybody to be triggered and start, casting aspersions. Please, okay? Thank you.
Let them be triggered.
Hello, good morning. Hi, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Nathaniel, what's your question?
Thank you very much, my question is this: I'm a teacher, and there's this worrying concern I have concerning a male child
with their performance, and in schools, you see that their performance continues to decline with time. Now, my question is this: how can schools, help to engage and train these male children? Because you see some parents tell you that don't train my child. Yours is to teach him. Don't tell him this. Don't tell him that. does it mean that the school don't have a part to play in modeling the lives of these children?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. At least one good question. Thank you very much. Now, the function of a school is education. The function of the home is training. There is a difference between training and education. But when you get to a higher institution, they tell you that it is not only for education, it's also for social integration, where your character, everything is called into play, because in the higher institutions, you will leave home. Unfortunately, psychology tells you that the home is the primary programming of any child is at home. So the question and the problem is that the school cannot take the responsibility of a home. The home is the primary, where you get your basic programming, the CPU, where you get your basic programming. And this is a shame, because when teachers identify that this girl has no home training, and they try to move in, you have these millennial parents coming to also petition that teacher. I told you of a teacher who told a boy to tuck in, and the parents came to school to demand that teacher be sacked. The teacher did not touch, the teacher did not flog, just told the boy to stand up and tuck in. And then a school will now consider that because they don't want to lose parents. So the issue here for me is it is a very frustrating thing when you try to correct, but you are limited. You are limited. In fact, there was a teacher, one of the cases we did in Ojo, it was a teacher that called that he suspects that his child in his class is being sexually molested at home. All these things come from home, and we took it up, and it was true. In fact, the father tried to run with the child. It's very frustrating, sir, but there is no way a teacher will take up, especially in secondary schools. It is very, in the university, at least at times, some lecturers take some people under their wings, but in the secondary school, it's very difficult.
Okay, we're taking more calls. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay. Okay, go on.
You put food on the table, the government to put food on the table, and also helping you to get a job. But this overrides that. At the end of the process, we gave him 100,000 to pay for the Uber, because that's what they require. You have to pay 100,000.
Your phone isn't. We're barely hearing well. Oh yeah. Yes. Then so So what you should do when you have done that is not to repeat the same mistake of giving him your money, whether he's in trouble or not. So just try your best, feed your children. When he comes back, let the pot, when you have already washed the pot, there's no food. When he doesn't eat, you can't keep feeding your problem. It was one of the issues that Obasanjo Awolowo said during the Afra War that turned the tide. However wrong it may have been, you can't keep feeding your problem. Your problem is growing bigger and you are growing leaner. Feed your children and let that be. That is all. Just feed your children. Now, please just don't get pregnant for another child. Do you understand what I'm saying?
All right.
I think she ended the call.
Yes, let's take more questions.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? What's your name? Okay, go on.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So far away from them and cannot be able to take care, or because I do call them, send money, and then go once a while and then come back to Ibadan. And since you are saying walk distance is like a hiccup to taking care of family.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Let me understand. You are with your family. Oh God, you didn't have to cut. Now, what I'm talking about, when I'm talking about long distance relationship, is before marriage. After marriage, something could take somebody they could transfer somebody, but you have already known yourselves before marriage. So after marriage, somebody could go for a course for 1.5 years, so that doesn't. But whether you are now after marriage, work has taken you somewhere, you can. Yes, you shuttle and you be responsible, talking to them, whenever they need you are there. And when you have the chance, you come spend time. That's it.
Yeah, just have
It's before marriage. It's before marriage that I'm saying that long distance relationship will not.
Yes, so that you can get to know the person you're getting married to.
You get married to the person.
All right, more questions here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, attention, man. Good morning, Madam Joy. Yes, amen. We are all good, thank you. How's the family? Awesome.
You know, say God kill a lie. Because of that, you know, to take care of your children. He say all of them will die the same day. They bring the news to him that the 2 sons will die in that battle.
Madam Joy. You see?
Where we are taught, they lock everybody out. Please serve God wherever you are. Serve Him.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Joy. Thank you very much. Remember, we're sticking to questions, okay? Please, we're sticking to questions.
Really well, I've missed
Hello,
that
good
voice.
morning.
I could tell.
And where are you calling from? Good morning.
Oga Moses, let's go.
They said what?
To the church in Philippi, to the church in Corinthians.
Thank you so much, Moses.
All right, thank you so much,
For the first time, I disagree with Oga Moses.
All right,
Let's move on.
Since we want to
It's not
make
a church program. Let's
since we want to take the phone lines over, I will move to WhatsApp now. At least I decide how I read your messages here. And I will take the questions, people who send me questions, since you people want to monopolize the phone lines for me today. This message here says, I am separated with my wife, but my 2 kids are with her. I only paid their school fees and send upkeep, but I don't go to see them. Please, how do I raise my son in this instance?
You don't go to see them is a statement of fact. As in, what do you didn't even say I try to go and see them. You say you don't go. How is it possible to raise children in absentia? How do you Bluetooth instructions? Do you Bluetooth training a child? Or is it by network? No. You go and see. The fact that you are divorced or separated does not mean that you don't get to see your children. If there is a bitter spouse who is not allowing either to see the other to see their children, you go to court. I did it. I wasn't married though. I was a single father. I went to court as a man and I won custody of my son. You have rights for weekends. That's, you take the child on Fridays, you return on Sunday. You have rights to half of the holidays. If the holiday is 3 weeks, 1.5 weeks with you, 1.5 weeks, that is your right, except you are an abusive spouse or where you are is not proper to raise a child or there is a problem. Those are your rights. The law has settled that one. So you go to court. Don't be telling me they are not allowing me to see. Where? How? This has been settled. It is a matter of law.
And he did say he is separated. He didn't say divorced.
I don't go to see the... Oh, see, somebody sent me a message that I'm shouting.
Anyways, we have this message, and I think this person wants to remain anonymous. She said, my marriage is less than 4 years, and my husband has said he's no longer interested. He stopped sleeping at the house for a while, but the day he came back, he came to beat me while I gave up and moved out. My question is, he claims he has no... I don't understand what you're trying to say, but I think she's trying to...
She says that, but the day he came back to beat me up was when I finally gave up and moved out. My question is,
he claims he has no lawyer for illegal separation. How can I proceed?
What do you mean illegal separation? They call it judicial separation, but did you need a lawyer to move in? Did you need a lawyer to marry? If you want to separate, you don't need a lawyer to separate. Separation means you no longer live together and you no longer have sex. You can't be, as long as you are still copulating, that is, you are sleeping with each other, you are not separated, though you might be living in different places. So the day you leave the house, the law says 2 years separation. That is for legal marriage, that's for court marriage. The way to go about a divorce is first to separate. So why are you telling me that you need a lawyer to do legal separation? The separation is move out of the house, no more sex. And then how many times does a spouse has to tell you, Abi, is that English correct? Is it have or has? Has to tell you. How many times does he have to tell? You understand what I'm saying? Just suddenly, my brain just shifted a little. How is it possible that someone keeps telling you they are not interested and you keep staying and hoping? How many times until he came to beat you? I tell people that you only need to hear it once. I'm no longer interested. You even appreciate the person, but no, you are taught to die there until they beat you and they maim you, a lady.
So it's first separation for 2 years.
Yes. Then you get a lawyer to file for divorce.
Okay.
That is if it is court marriage.
So even if he does not have a lawyer, there's no problem.
That's not your problem now. That's not anybody can initiate. Some will say, I'm waiting for your letter. Anybody can initiate a divorce. Wife or husband. There is no, it must come from husband or it must come from wife. Right. Anybody.
Okay. We have a message here. It says, good morning, Barrister, and well done for your good work. Please, what about those of us that are baby mamas but are responsible for almost everything as regards the child, but not physically present? Although every end of year I travel to go spend time with my child because I work in a different state.
Who is with the child?
She didn't state, but I'm guessing possibly family members. The child is a family. and she says she traveled every end of the year to go spend time with the child because she works in a different state, and she
So
says
that's
she
it.
feels it is not enough. What
Of
more can
course,
she do?
of course, you can take your child. See, it depends on the father. You know, thank God, it depends on the father. This year, I told you I was a single father before I got married.
Mm.
So there was a lot of contention between me and the mother of my son. So this year, when an issue arose, she just said it. Well, the boy is better off with the father. She just said it because the father, what this father is doing, I cannot do. So there are times you know that you have a good father, so you can afford to do some. But where you see that this, I don't know, me, I don't know how to leave children, Sha. I don't know. It's you that know. If I am going to the desert, I will take my child with me. If I'm going to the desert, I just know that, okay, I have to protect, I will take the child. The only place I will not take my child is prison, as in, God forbid, maybe I went to slap someone now, and somebody say, okay, you are going to spend 1 week in prison for slapping the person. I won't say, okay, my son must come with me to a hand. That's the only place. Well, my children, anywhere I go, they go.
Well, Joy from Benin City says, "Good morning, sir. I think the legislature should make laws that compel men to pay child support. Single moms are going through a lot."
So, the problem here is we don't have records. A man can come who is earning 300 million per month and say that he's earning 330,000 per month, and you use 10,000 for transportation. He will eat that all he can afford is 5,000. So you see people who can actually afford to train their children, and the court has no way to verify. You say, he took a loan, no, they are still deducting this. So they go through ridiculous, and some will not just show up. Some, the court will order, you must pay 150 every month. You pay the first month, second month, third month, you will pay 30. You say 60. He will just spoil everything. But to go to court again, you now go to court, you have to pay a lawyer to initiate another. The money you will use would have raised the child.
Yeah.
So it is very frustrating. But abroad, the moment he fails, you can just file that he knows he's going to prison. He's going to prison, but not like so. I agree with you.
We have this question here. The man says, "My wife is listening. Please, no name. I am sending this message from Ikorodu." He says, "My wife is a nice woman. I am asking this question for future and safety purpose. Is it wise for a new couple, I mean the man, to include his wife's name on the property he just bought?"
So this is a very good question. Last week was the purple curtain, and a woman spoke about her property, which she bought, but included the husband, gave the husband the money. You know, some are, you say you are a submissive wife, you need to not submit your brain too. So at the end of the day, the man drove her out of the property that she paid for because he put his name on the property. You understand? And he didn't really think it was something. How many seconds?
Just about 20 seconds.
So, sir, there are two ways. Because you have just started, you don't really know how to end with your name. Then, if afterwards you see that this is a good woman that is her, then you can do a will to put her as your next of kin, transfer to her in case of That's
all
what
right.
I would say.
Lagos will be back, and then we'll continue here.
Then coming up, we'll be back in a moment.
See, another lesson you're learning today. You see, most of these scholars and these people, they want to stay on a certain walk path. Don't give them that. Put your feet down hard. All right, bring us back.
Sorry, we just have to.
Okay, we're back, and it's still Relationship 360. We're taking your questions, your answers your comments, your suggestions, and bring the heat, honestly. So, Barrister, before we write on it, there's this particular question I would like to read out to you. She is Tosi Oyodele from Manchester. She says the problem, as Barrister has pinpointed, is that there is too much focus on the girl child, and many marriages believe the lady should hold the house together in all areas. I have a son and 2 daughters. For most times, if my 10-year-old son comes to me, I tell him to go and meet his father. This is so he can learn from him. I also, although I guide him in other things, washing plates in the morning before going to school, dusting the furniture on Saturday. After all, no be only me born now. That's what she says.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
All right, we're still taking your questions here on this question here is from Ted. He says, how does a separated couple prove they've been separated for 2 years?
Come again.
How does a separated couple prove they've been separated for 2 years? You know,
how do you prove when you move out?
Especially
move out.
possibly
if he wants to disprove, it is the person who wants to contend. The person who alleges must prove. If I say I have left this person for 2 years, and the person wants to dispute it, then the person has to prove that I have not left him for 2 years. So it is up to that person. No, you don't need to actually prove in court. It is for the other person to disagree, and if he disagrees, the person must show how you were in a house that you had left for 2 years. So it's not something that really causes a lot of arguments in
the law court.
Yes.
All right, it shouldn't stop you. That's what he's saying. This is anonymous. He's saying, Barrister, what do you do when your wife keeps threatening to leave at every little misunderstanding? Do you need to end it?
I will help her leave. The day she says that, first time we settled it, I will tell you, please stop saying that. Stop. I didn't beat. But what kind of misunderstanding? Is it a violent misunderstanding? If it's just probably an argument, not an abuse, aha. But if you keep telling me you will leave, I will just help you leave. I will help you pack your bag and insist you must leave. Because the moment you start telling me that, my mind is already
defensive.
Yes, it's already preparing itself to leave without you.
Okay, this message here this question is from John. He says, I have a wonderful family. We have one boy who is 8 years now. I traveled for work outside the state last October. I make sure I call every day. But your topic today is making me feel like I'm not doing enough. What should I do?
See, that is the feeling I want you to have. Not that, I am, they say if a man thinks he stands, let him take heed lest he falls. That take heed is what you are doing. Take heed. Make sure, self-check that is there something. Don't take anything for granted in either children, male or female. Don't take anything for granted. Talk to them. Make sure they are able to talk to you. Tell you what it is. Train them. Sex education, especially when they are young, so that they are prepared in life for the possibility of sexual harassment. They are already trained for that. Teach them about how to work and earn an honest living, how not to run before their time. Oh, my friend just bought a Benz. Children start because we start that thing. Oh, your cousin just got a good job. You already are teaching children to compare themselves. Your kidney coin is already married. You are not married. Then after some time, they start comparing wealth, which would lead someone to go and do something in order to be able to stand become like the other. So just don't compare anybody. Move.
This one looks more. It's not a question. It's more like a cry for help. He says, "My name is Emeka Chima from Odonla, and how will I start a divorce process? My wife is about to kill me. My life is in danger."
You first separate now. You don't just start a divorce like a divorce is 1 week. You separate first. Life is more important. Separate first. If it is legal marriage you did, that is court marriage, you separate for maybe 2 years. Maybe you start your proceeding when it's 1 year, 8 months. That's it. If it is traditional, you refund bride price. You are not picking calls again. No.
except people understand what we mean by
Yeah, okay,
questions
you are punishing
only.
them.
Questions
Ah.
only. So we're going to
No.
we're going to the phone lines right now. But remember, questions only. We don't want comments. We want straight up questions, please. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, go ahead.
Because even though they've been separated for 1 month, as long as they agree that they
No, you see, first, just leave that for your lawyer. First, be separated. If you are separated for more than 2 years, it makes your divorce even faster. Someone came to me, they've been separated for 5 years, another one 7 years. That makes it very quick because with that way, the court already has seen that for people to have stayed apart
There's
for
no
7 years, it's very quick. That wait, they are living in the same house. Oh God, your network is breaking. See, they cannot live in the same house. Because as long as you are in the same house, you say that one is sleeping in wing A, the other is sleeping in wing B under the same roof. It is still assumed that as long as a man and woman are coming out of the same house, that they are still sexually intimate. Separate, sir. Let us move to. We have to quickly move, sir. Let them separate. There is no leave this. You can't be.
It means one person have to move out of the house.
Because somebody that is mischievous can just say, you that we still slept together, just to frustrate you. Well, none of them object. But Ogbeni, let them separate and move out. Don't be saying you are sleeping in the same room. Both of us are agreeing to disagree.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Please, shoot to your question. All right. Sorry about that. You have to call us back. Numbers to call: 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-0993. Female only line: 0201-465-7190. Remember, straight to your questions when you call. Hello. Go ahead.
Okay, this is a question that she says. I remember back in 2020 when I was teaching in a government school under a program, there were quite a number of girls who were brought in from their village to live with an auntie, as they call them in Lagos. These aunties abused these girls, and some of them were even raped over and over by their husbands and cannot speak out of fear. I remember we once contributed money to send a girl back to the village. And my question is that, is there a way this child trafficking and those involved can be brought to book?
Of course, now you go to the police station and report it. It's a crime. Defilement, that is raping an underage child, is a crime. Life imprisonment it's a felony. It's a capital offense. Rape and defilement, that is the rape of the child, they are capital crimes.
Okay. We have this message here. It says, "Good morning. I'm considering marrying a single mother of one daughter. She's no longer with the biological father, and when I asked her who will take care of the child, she said the guy washed his hands off because she refused to hand over the child to him. She's clear that she has moved into she's clear that she would move into any future marriage with her daughter, and the child will bear her husband's surname and not the ex-husband. My question is, Is it okay to marry her alongside with the daughter? Please balance it traditionally, morally, and legally.
If you want to marry me, you take me and my baggage. I was a single father. You marry me without my... It will not happen. I married also a single mother. My wife had 3 children from her previous marriage. I had 1. I wasn't married though. So together we had 4. And you're not telling me that, okay, she should go and drop. In fact, when we wanted to marry, my wife thought it would be a problem. So she had gone to rent a place for the 3 children. She was, when I heard, I said, who are you? So you are telling me that we will be together, your children will be in another place, and my own child will come here. And if my own child is coming, your own children would also come. She was like, am I going to be okay because the children are quite grown? I said, let us start first. Today, you will not know that I'm not their biological. You can never know. You can never. Why would you marry someone and then not take the baggage? Leave her alone if you cannot take it too. If you cannot take it, leave her alone. How would you? And for women or men that will marry and then go and keep their children somewhere, that is a shame. Are you ashamed of the child? Then you now start another family. You start having children. Meanwhile, you neglect the other one. That is absolutely ridiculous. I have no regard or respect for that. Is the child not your child?
So I think it's coming from a place of question. He's inquisitive, and if I see the way he crafted his message, I think he's more sensitive to the traditional side of things, and that's why he's asking that question. But this person who had sent the message from Ikorodu asking about the property and his wife's name of the property or not, especially for a new couple, he's saying you didn't really go deep into the question. What deep is that?
Put your name on it now. Put your name on it. Put your name on it. Because you don't know what the future is yet.
Well, this person wants to remain anonymous. I'm in a relationship which there is no sex. I have been sexually active in my previous relationship, but this one we only make out. I'm scared that there will be no matching energy in that aspect. And she seems inexperienced.
Somebody.
She said.
Is that a marriage?
No, they're in a relationship. And she's let me finish. He says we have talked about it, but she's still adamant about testing the waters. What would you advise me I do? Because he said he wants to take this relationship further.
So the way to take the relationship further is by sexual intercourse. I believe that should be the last thing before marriage. Why? Because a lot of people hide medical conditions under religion. For example, we have seen where a woman, I told you now, there's one of my aburos that married a busty woman he likes. No sex before marriage. When they got married, first night, he saw that it was Wonder Bra. That means it was the bra that gave
the impression.
The impression. She was very minute there. And that is what he likes. So right from it took them 2 months to have sex because that put him off. So it took counseling. The woman said, is it breast that you want to eat? He said, how will you be wearing? So a lot of things that you discover after. For example, there was another one that had a deformity. He had 3 nipples instead of 2. So seeing it for the first time after marriage, you see, there are lots of things that I think you need to. There was another that it was stretch marks that caused the problem. She didn't have on her hands, but on the breast, on the chest, on the tummy, there were lots of stretch marks, and the guy could not just. So they said, okay, why don't you try switching off the light? He said he married her. Why would he be switching off the light to sleep? So it became a problem. After say about 5-6 months, they had to separate.
But maybe some persons will think these things are trivial.
Yes, you see, some men love stretch marks, but some don't. Some men love big endowments, but some like petite. But the issue is you don't even know what, with all these padded, we have to, let me just round up now. Just be sure that you are sexually compatible. That is, you feel the same way. Because someone just sent me a message now that he's not had sex with his wife for 5 years. That is it still, and you them all. Please, I need to round up now because time is fast spent. See this question and answer. You are looking at me like we should have a third party.
Yes, I feel we should.
Oh. Come for the purple curtain every third Saturday of the month. Every third Saturday at number 14 Ogunlana Drive, Surulere. I am there live to answer your question in person for 3 hours from 12 noon to 3. That's questions and answers will not take over the show all through the month. I want to appreciate everybody for always tuning in to listen. Yes, I have exceptions to one caller, Mr. David from Ibeshiriade. I think I'm going to have to make you a notorious caller and not respond to you because your views ever since have been, there's someone that I have exed, that I have gone, I don't respond to their calls. You would know the woman. I think I would do the same to Mr. David because all you ask are very mischievous, religious content, and I really feel bad for people that you would have to counsel because you sound like the other time maybe you introduced yourself as someone who has a religious position in church, and I feel very sad. I think from now I will not answer any question or even respond to your calls. The RMDVA training continues today from 12 to 3. Those that are in the training program with me, relationship, marriages, domestic violence and abuse, the training will continue today. For those that want to reach out to me, you can do so on 0909 3214 942. 0909 3214 942. Go back to your children. Everybody, go back to your sons, go back to your daughters. I want to invite specially members of the Redeemed Christian Church of God to Ajeromi Feluju Magistrate Court 8 on the 28th of May. That is this next week, Wednesday, which happens to be my birthday, from 9 to 10 a.m. I want you to see your church growth pastor of Province 93 being tried for assault and battery on a 41-year-old mother and her own mother. That is, he beat up the 70-year-old woman and her daughter, who is 41 years, being his tenant. He beat her up because he called, landlord calling tenant to come and sweep the front of her, and she was in the rain. She didn't answer. He came downstairs to beat him up. Now, the reason I'm making this very public is because this has been his mode of operations, assaulting his tenants for years. And this came to when he and his family, his wife and sons, beat up this. You saw, thank God he admitted it in his own police statement. Now he's trying to change, but he will be tried in court because I don't want you people to be putting irresponsible and malicious people without character to be pastors deceiving people in church. A lot of them sneak through your processes. The way you people are, but when the DPO was appealing to me, I said, okay, I will leave this matter only if you can go to that man's street and get me one person that will vouch for his good character to say that he is good, he's kind. One person, DPO, just get one person. The police went there, not one person on the entire street. All of them kept saying this, that man. In fact, a woman has called me to sponsor the court case against that man. And he's a church growth pastor. If the man retains that title after this court case, I will know that the church process is a joke. He beat this woman Sunday evening, woke up 4 a.m. the following morning to go to her flat again, to beat her up and drag her out in her wrapper. She was wearing nothing under. He dragged her to the street in Ajegule at 4 a.m. A woman just clad in a wrapper, short wrapper. And that is how he does. This is one. Just a year or two ago, another tenant's wife. And he has been doing this, or he is known all through that side. When we went there, and someone with such a notorious reputation in an entire street, in the entire area, and I hear that he's a church, please come and watch him defend himself. Come and watch him. On the 28th of May, in Ajeromoyi Ifeoludu Magistrate Court 8. People should stop making sycophants pastors. What else? Yes, my phone number is 0909-3214-942. Uncle Jimmy.
Huh?
I had to drag on to Uncle Jimmy. Please say something to our fathers and before we go.
Which father?
Our fathers, our sons.
Okay, what do you want me to tell them?
Please train your children.
You want me to repeat what I said when I
Yes, I want you to
I'm not going to
repeat what
admit
you
that
said.
on it. But okay, so jokes apart, I'd like to. I listen to your program.
Sorry.
I listen to your program.
Right, just use this one.
Okay, yeah, I listen to your program coming in, and in all honesty, thank God I've raised my son, but I want to admit that I raised him without the consciousness of all the things that you said. So I think it's a lesson for us men, and I'm glad that there's an emphasis on the boy child. The emphasis has always been on the girl child. When you have children, I had both male and female, you concentrate on the female. You keep concentrating on them, sometimes to the neglect of the male. Not for anything, it's just that you tend to be more protective about the female than the male. But sometime during the month, I will bring the issue up on one of my own programs and we'll be able to expand it much better.
Thank you very much, Uncle Jimmy. I had to drag him into, at least he did it to me too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 1-1.
1-1 goal. He is now a 1-1 goalless draw.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. Abi, next Saturday.
Yes. Someone is asking if the purple button can be aired on social media for those who have
I think it is actually streamed live, but I will find out. I will find out.
Okay.
A lot of people don't want their faces to show on because they are very. You need to come to the purple curtain and see what things you will hear and the issues. People should come learn, especially those in marriages and relationships. So it's not just for married people; it's also for single people. Every third Saturday, 12 noon to 3 at number 14 Ogulano Drive, Surulere. Thank you. God bless.
All right. Thank you, Lagos. We're still here. Up next is the Discuss with Jimmy Disu. Stay here, Lagos.
Thank you.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Relax,